Welcome to the Becoming a Principal podcast, a podcast for aspiring educational leaders. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Matt. We're high school administrators in Ontario, Canada, and we're excited to share our experiences with you. The purpose of the podcast is to provide inspiration and support for educators considering leadership roles. We plan to discuss a range of topics related to educational leadership to help you on your journey to become and thrive as a school leader.
How you doing today, Matt?
It's great. It's Friday.
It is Friday at the time of recording, and we're looking forward to a good weekend, right?
Absolutely.
After a pretty busy week.
Yep.
So in this episode, we're going to be discussing when to seek advice as a new leader. Matt and I, off mic, have talked a lot about different things in regards to our decision making. But today we want to focus in on, as a new leader, as Matt is, and I include myself in that category as well. We're just going to kind of go over our thought process as to when it's time to seek outside counsel for a decision that you might be having to make. So specifically in the role of administrator, there are many decisions that you make in the course of a day, some big, some small, all have consequences depending on which way the decision goes. But there are times that you might just feel that you need to get some outside counsel, and how do you go about doing that? So my question for Matt to kind of start here is, as a new leader, when do you feel it's time that you need to seek advice? What are some signals that might be going off in your brain when you're I think I need to ask somebody else before I come to a decision here?
There we go. That's a good question. And obviously my threshold has changed, right? So hear me now in this role for, what's it been, eight months now? Wow, where's the time gone? But thinking now, even more recently, comes to a point where you're curious, if you're doing right by the people involved, and you're doing right by the school and by yourself and your own philosophy. And if you're thinking that, there's one of those things is left out, and not that it's a contentious issue, although that would be a good chance to seek out advice too. But maybe there's something there that you just want to make sure not only are you protected, but you're also doing the right thing for everyone involved.
Okay,
right.
That makes sense. I was thinking about what you're saying, and we do talk very vague sometimes because we don't want to highlight every specific situation. But if you had to categorize which types of decisions are the ones where you're I really need to get some outside counsel here, what category, type of decision are we talking about? I know I'm thinking of curriculum direction. I'm thinking of school initiatives. I'm thinking of disciplinary as it relates to student teacher or student parent or student administrator type of relationship. What kind of which kind of category is one where you're finding yourself that you need to seek the most counsel?
Oh, great question. So I would say you named a lot of things that I'm comfortable with, right? Mm-hmm. But what we're talking about is relationships between, families and teachers. Because what I want to make sure is I'm protecting the teacher and making sure that they're validated, and also, we're doing the right thing by them too, because they are under our care, but so is that family and that student, right? So you want to make sure that their voice is heard, just like the teacher, and that you get to a place where you're looking for a good resolution for all the parties involved without damaging relationships either, whether that be with the teacher or the student or the family. So I think navigating those relationship pieces and just making sure that, again, you're doing right by all of them, that your heart's in the right place, and ultimately the student's at the center of all that anyway. That's where I would go for extra advice at this point in time. And then you get to the point where your senses are starting to tingle. You're thinking hey, you know what? I don't know if I'm doing the right thing for all the parties involved. I just want to run it by you or one of our colleagues. Just make sure your language is right. Hey, have I thought about everything when I'm communicating with all the people involved? And you just want to make sure that basically you have everything in order before you communicate.
That's great. And I can speak fairly frankly about how great Matt is at many different things. Well, this is one of them. He doesn't always come for counsel because he's got a very good, understanding of what kind of needs to be done, and we definitely share, the same
philosophies,
on education that align with like our board vision and mission for sure. But there are definitely things that come up that you're like, oh, this meets the threshold of I better run this by somebody. And I think, everyone has a boss unless you're right at the top. But so I think for myself, there are times too where I'm like, what's the threshold where I'm also just going to be given a heads up, like just so you know, right? We get that a lot in our roles from teachers.
Yep.
Just wanted you to know.
Right.
Or it's like, what I call it, the drop and dash. Like
here's those ones on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah,
right?
here's what happened, boom. And then they're trying to just kind of offload it, right? Sometimes. And I guess, like, how do you deal with those? I guess. How do you talk to people through those problems that you get that come to our desk? What's your strategy for that?
That's a great question. I think it's just asking them a reflection question. Like we talked about this before, but give me the, hey, tell me more. Hey, who have you talked to about this already? Have you communicated with the parent or the child? In our board, we have a communication protocol, right? So it's important. It would really be the teacher's responsibility to talk to the family first. And it might be uncomfortable, and we can navigate help that teacher navigate that situation, or be in the room to make that phone call, or be on the call, or be in the meeting, which are all things that show your support both to the teacher but also to the family and the child, to say, hey, this is important and we're here to work it out together.
Absolutely.
Right?
And if we're dealing with like obviously events or incidents that require suspension or like expulsion consideration, that's different.
Yep.
But oftentimes we'll be caught in these little scenarios where people just want to be heard and have a framework with which how to make the next step.
Yeah.
So I think it's not always just a drop and dash. It's like I think they're bringing it to us to like help them kind of orient their thinking so they make a best next step. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, so I got to ask you. So, as a vice principal, especially a new one, I bring things to you all the time when my senses are kind of tingling. Like, hey, I should run this by Jordan or one of my experienced VP colleagues, right? Yeah. But what about you as a principal? Who are you navigating your different situations with? And at what point do you realize that, hey, I need to run this by somebody?
Yeah, that's a good question as well, because on it, we're lucky that we have a team, so we can kind of, get a good idea of how each of us would approach a situation so that we're kind of on the same page that way. But there are times where it's a new situation or something I haven't encountered before, or something that's like, highly contentious that, may have implications down the road if we make a decision or make a different decision. So I'm always seeking outside counsel on those issues when they reach a certain threshold for me. It's kind of hard to find what exactly those ones are, but there are times, again, I'm encountering something completely new and I don't want to, mess it up, for lack of a better term, and I know that it needs thoughtful consideration. I will reach out to people that are at my level, like other principals in our system, about if they've handled a situation like that before, how it went down. And truthfully, I'll also reach out to my boss, superintendent as well, because I have a great working relationship with that person, and I have no concerns about going to them with anything. So I know that they'll point me in the right direction or actually help clarify my own thinking. That's one of, I know that person's best tactics for me is like just to let me speak it through and get to the heart of the matter. And I think you do that for teachers. I think that we do that in our role. And I think I go to people that do that for me too. It's like, Jordan, let's think about that a little more. Can you go back through that again? Okay, restate that again. What happened first? Like just going through all those things more factual and rational, slow it down, so that we can actually make a decision. A lot of times it's us coming to our own decision after we have a chance to really thoughtfully dissect a situation in many cases. But I'm definitely going across.
Yeah.
I'll go to other principals, experienced principals that have most likely dealt with something similar.
Mm-hmm.
Got anything else?
That's great.
No, so we talked about seeking advice or seeking counsel, which we do in a lot of different ways. And we're lucky that we have a team. We're able to bounce ideas off each other and kind of come to a common understanding of how each of us operate, and that's wonderful. But also what this kind of lends itself to is like, I think like 360 degree like leadership, right? So not only do you might not seek counsel from people that are, maybe your boss or your superior, but like on level people that are in the same role as you, and sometimes even people that might not be at your level, or talking about a hierarchical sense. Sometimes you're asking for someone else's opinion, because they might see something differently, especially in the case of like teacher to administrator, right? You might be working through that situation just to get a better understanding of what the situation is and seeking advice from even that person.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all have trusted colleagues in the school too, and we know that they offer a different lens than what we have. And I think, it'd be naive to think that because of our role we have all the answers.
Definitely not.
Right, and even that we're the smartest people in the school, right? And I think that there's a lot of experience, and a lot of people know, a lot about what the school needs, and student learning and student behavior. And I think we do a great job of leveraging those people in our building and outside our building too, those experts in their different roles. And, it makes a difference when people feel that they're empowered to do that, and that they can come to us and, we can use them to help solve problems in our school.
Yeah, that's great. And I think when you're thinking about it in that sense, as a new leader, again, we talked about the learning curve being steeper, just a lot of things being kind of thrown at you, so that it is important to seek counsel.
Yeah. And
like you said, at the beginning it might be like trivial things that you're seeking support on or advice on, and then as you begin to establish yourself, it's going to be a bit more like higher level things that you're seeking counsel on. And I think also it's important to remember that you're going to be that person for someone else.
Yeah.
Right? And then how do you approach that? Because think about the people that you've gone to for counsel. Like, you're going to be that person soon.
Yep.
Or people are going to be coming to you for counsel, right? So it's kind of full circle.
All right.
Which is the best part of our job, or one of them. We have lots of parts we like.
It's a great job.
Yes,
it's a great job. We all love it here. The job satisfaction is high.
It's off the charts.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. So yeah, we're, time recording 8 months?
Yeah,
8 months in?
8 months. We're still here.
And you're still smiling?
There we go.
You still like the job?
It's the best job I've ever had.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I'd say it's pretty close to the best job I've had. Yeah, I had a few good ones, though. I was pretty lucky, but this is a wonderful job. All right.
Okay.
We're done with this one for today.
Okay, have a nice weekend, Jordan.
All right. Thanks, Matt. You too. Go Leafs, go.
Thanks for listening to Becoming a Principal podcast. We're grateful for the time again that you spent with us, and we hope we've been helpful in some way to you. Be sure to check out our Instagram at Becoming a Principal podcast. Have a great day, everyone.